What's up? In this episode, we're asking the question, is exercise essential or is it overrated? Or in other words, is exercise a waste of time or a great investment? This is Exercise Exposed. Over to my beautiful host and wife, Holly. All you, babe. Do what you do.
I love it. Welcome to another episode of What the Health Show. I am your host, Holly O'Brien, with guest Mr. O'Brien, host number 2. We are talking about Exercise Exposed. Is it overrated or is it essential? We're going to talk about that today. So we have lots of questions here that I'm sure you're asking the exact same ones. We get questions. Do I do cardio? Am I supposed to do weightlifting? How long do I work out for? Don't worry, we're going to answer all these questions. So first, Mr. O'Brien, is exercise really overrated? Do we need to move our bodies?
Great question. And since we want to expose the truth, and the truth will set you free, so saith the good book, as well as my book, The Magic Pill, that's sitting over my shoulder there. I always do it the wrong. Keegan, my son, asked me, like, Daddy, he had a friend here, and he was holding my book. He's like, Daddy, how long did it take you to write this? I was like, 3 years, part-time. So it was a labor of love. But the gist of the book was, the punchline is exercise is the magic pill, and the book makes the case of everything that we crave and desire and want out of life: quality of life, energy, brain function, romance, aka sex drive, all those things, mental health, all of those can be improved with exercise. So I don't want to give away the truth just yet, but that's a little teaser. And the exact question was, is exercise overrated? What did you say?
Do
you remember?
I'm like, is it necessary? Is it overrated? Is it essential? Is it
necessary? Yes.
Do we have to move our bodies? Like, can't we just sit around all the time?
Great question. I'll answer. I feel like we're on one of the presidential debates and we're avoiding answering the actual question. Filibustering, I think it's called. But
that's a big old fancy word. Are we supposed to move our booties?
So there's many ways that we can improve our health, and human beings, myself being one of them, we like to take the path of least resistance. I like to say it like Bruce Lee, we're like water, where we flow downhill, take the path of least resistance. So we're always looking for the easy answer, the easy solution, the one that doesn't require time, energy, or sweat in some cases. But there's a lot of ways to improve our health. And I made this argument in 2011. And since then, I've been vindicated by science in 2017 and by very intelligent authors, Peter Attia and Gabrielle Lyons, both MD doctors, that came out in their books last year and said, guess what? Exercise is numero uno, the number one way we can add quantity of years to our life and quality of life in those years. So I'll say that one more time. Exercise is the number one way, 10 times more significant than blood pressure, as a health indicator for functional health span, that's going to give you more quantity of life or more years of life and more quality of life during those years. So you live your best life now, as we like to say, and you get to do it for a longer period of time. So the answer to the question is exercise is the most significant lever that we can use in our life to improve what I just said, quality and quantity.
Okay, so there may be some people watching that are so excited right now because, like, see, I'm not crazy. I love going to the gym. I go 45 times a day. I'm kidding. Nobody should be doing that. But there are some people watching and going, yay, I knew it. Yet there are some people watching that are going, wah, wah, but I don't like working out. Do I have to go to the gym and pick things up and put them down? Like, is that what I have to do? Or are there other ways that we can enjoy exercise without it just being lifting weights. I mean, I prefer lifting weights, but I know some people don't have an amazing studio. Like we make exercise super fun at Triumph, right? The classes are amazing. Not everyone has that. So, are there other ways that people can exercise? Like walking, for example, is that good for you?
Well, let's just start with something beats nothing. In the actual premise of the book, and my biggest mistake in publishing the Magic Pill, working with my publisher, was not titling it "Movement is the Magic Pill," and I'm actually going to do a revised, updated edition, and either title it "Movement is the Magic Pill" or "Exercise is the Magic Pill." And I always tell people, like, something beats nothing. So if you're mostly sedentary or completely sedentary now, anything is going to beat that. So you always want to meet people where they're at. And if taking your dog for a walk is more movement in your life, we talk about movement snacks. Like if you have a job where you're working remotely or you're stuck behind a desk, working from home, set a timer, your Apple Watch or something every hour to take a movement snack where you get up for 5 to 7 minutes, move your butt, walk around, do laps in the house, go do your dishes, fold some laundry, whatever, and do that on the hour. And you'll actually be more productive when you lose that time over the course of 8 hours. Studies have confirmed this, multiple studies, that you'll be more productive over those 8 hours taking those movement snacks than you would be just working straight through. So
I love the name.
Activity.
I'm sorry, like, please, does anyone else love that it's called movement snacks? Put movement snacks in the chat here. If you're with us on social media, I know a lot of people are watching in different platforms, but please, that is like the best name ever. I've never heard it called movement snacks. So my mouth is watering because you said snack. But I love that. So you're saying that actual small movement snacks throughout the day are going to help me have a better day and be more productive?
Yeah, the worst thing most people have heard, like on long flights, there's literally situations where people can get clots in their legs from being sedentary or sitting for 4 to 5, 6 hours. This is what people are doing every day at their desk, and just not attributing it to the issues of flying that have a little bit more press behind them. But so let's just be real, though. That's, ground level stuff. Better than nothing. But I've always been one to not try to sugarcoat things and to really give people actionable information and give people the truth. And the reality is, let's talk about the strength or resistance training versus cardio debate, or throw in Pilates or yoga. So when we talk about stratifying or differentiating the benefits of exercise, if you only have so many hours in a week or so many minutes in a day that you can devote to exercise, I like to look at in the course of a week, 3 hours over the course of 7 24-hour days, whatever that math is, 28 to 98 or something like that. A lot of hours. So 3 hours, it's like 2% of your total hours in
I
a
could
week.
do that. That's only 2%. Wow.
2 to 3%.
When you put it that way.
If you think of it in that context, like what can I do for that small amount of time that's going to give me the most bang for the buck? Here at Triumph, we've kind of differentiated to serve busy working professionals and business owners because we know they appreciate the value of time and they get the benefits of what we do. They understand it because in business, time is money. And the same is true in fitness. When we're busy and we only have so many hours, like if I can help somebody in 2 to 3 hours a week get 80% of the benefits of health and longevity, that's efficiency and effectiveness, two big business words. So to achieve that, the short answer is the two biggest things for health, longevity, health span, quality, and quantity of years that we kind of teed this up with: resistance training, RT, lifting stuff up and putting things down, like Holly said. Like we like to say, pick things up and put them down, is resistance training, and cardiovascular training are the two. And so basically what has been confirmed in those 2017 studies, and I'm not going to bore you with the actual details, but the number one and number two predictors of functional health span are strength and cardiorespiratory fitness, or VO2 max. VO2 max is just a metric of testing cardiorespiratory fitness. And we're actually looking at getting a VO2 max tester here at Triumph. But until then, a good estimate is like, cardiovascular fitness, recovery heart rate, that we use the heart rate monitoring system here to test. But what we do here at Triumph, and what I teach clients, like I just did, I was telling Holly before we got on here live, is this guy, kids, he drove an hour to get here and he's got to drive an hour home. Mm-hmm. And like, I could have convinced him to do it 4 times a week, but I was like, no, like, you have kids, you got, like, I don't want you in a car 4 times a week for 2 hours. Hours. So I was like, come here twice. I'm going to show you what you can do the other 2 times a week at the gym that's 5 minutes from your house. So that's time efficiency. But what we do at Triumph, and what I teach him to do, is like, you can get cardiovascular benefits and resistance training strength benefits at the same time.
No, that's my favorite.
And I call it
2 birds with 1 stone.
Metabolic strength training, MST. That's my contribution to the world of health and fitness. It's taken me 25 plus years of professional evolution to get here. But we have a very efficient system. It's basically taking 3 intelligently designed strength-ish exercises and putting them in a circuit, and then with a recovery-based activity that could be push-ups, it could be jumping jacks, it could be, if you have a cardio machine, it could be 30 seconds of recovery cardio. And we'll do like circuits of that 3 to 4 to 5 times for 15 minutes. And the reality is, you do the volume of that most people might do in 45 minutes in 12 to 15 minutes. And it's crazy. Like I was telling him, he's like, I don't have to train 6 times a week. I was like, no, the 4 workouts that you're going to do is going to be more than most people are doing in 6 workouts in the gym.
Matt, people think I work out every day. Like, it's so funny. I'm like, no, I don't even like working out. But here's the thing. I go to our gym and I like our workouts.
You love working out.
I'm sorry. I've got to be real.
I'm debating with you. I'm calling you out. I'm fact checking you.
I like working out at our gym. So it's funny. I don't naturally like working out. Like, I like being busy and I like being active and I like, being outside. But like, working out is not something that comes natural as like, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. Yet I found a place, happens to be ours, but I found a place. I would work out there if we didn't own it, that I don't get bored. I get fast results. I only work out 2 to 3 days a week. I eat moderately good. Is that the right way of saying it? In moderation, 80-20. I don't deprive myself. And it just freaking works. Like, guys, are you sick and tired of like the yo-yo dieting? Going to the gym 7 days a week and then not going again? Are you sick and tired of binge eating and then starving yourself for a week? We have to stop. And there's a way you can stop. Watch the What the Health show and follow us. If you're the first time finding us, guys, please follow us, because we're teaching you simple ways for you to achieve the results you have always wanted and for it to stay. I went through an interview. Can you raise your hand?
Can I raise my hand?
Yes.
Real quick plug.
As you
keep talking about following us. If you're a YouTube person, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's Triumph Nation. If you're watching us on YouTube, put the little subscribe button. If you're watching us on Facebook, you either can follow Holly or myself individually on our personal profiles, or you can go to Triumph Fitness and Nutrition, our Facebook page, and follow that. And that way you'll just be more likely in the algorithms to get exposed. But if you do follow on YouTube or use YouTube, that's the best way, because you'll get an email notification of anytime we post a new video. But I also want to give a real quick shout out to the power of this show. And this is really cool. And I'll try not to get emotional, but
Mr. O'Brien's so emotional. Like, guys, he looks like a big beefy
I'm
guy.
just so happy that just this week, 2 people, because I've been asking people when they come in, like, what brought you here? So somebody came in that was a member like for a while and hasn't been here for 2 years, made a little effort last summer, 2023. And she came in today. So, I see her on. Rosie, like a shout out to you. But just she saw like little thing on this show. And the same with John that I did a feature profile this week as well, who's a business owner, that he watched little things that connected with the show that just put that little inner voice, made it a little louder and said, stop procrastinating. You got to do it. Let's just go. And she just came here and said, I got to do it, and brought a donation for our drive and said, hey, I got to get started and I want to be serious this time. And so shout out to that. But this is just why we do the shows, because we want to have impact. We want to create the Make America Healthy Again, MAHA movement. That's what Triumph Nation is all about. That's why it says join the movement. You can join our Facebook group, Triumph Nation. And we have so many, Holly's put together so much useful information in the guides. If you're not familiar with the guides, join the group. Google how to do the guides in the Facebook group. But depending on mobile or if you're on your PC, it's going to be either a tab or in the 3-bar menu. And just check out all the guides, like live cooking demos, how to do. I told somebody else this today. Taco night done right and Italian night done right. And they're like, those are my 2 favorite nights. I'm like,
what?
That's why I said it. Most people can identify with those 2 things. And the third would probably be pizza night done right. And we have the pizza. So lots of useful tools, but we got to, knowledge is power is not true. It's applied knowledge is power. So if we can give you tools and get you to apply them, then we know we've had impact. So sorry for that little plug.
No, I love it. I'm usually the one plugging it. You're so excited. And I love this part that people get to see this part of you. Like, guys, I get to see this part of Matt. He gets so excited because this is his passion. And this is why, if you are watching this right now, this is not an accident. I want you to hit the like button, hit the heart button, and also hit the share button. And the reason is there's someone that needs to hear from us. And the only way that they're going to hear from us is through you. So you get to be the person that pushes the needle forward. You get to be the person that impacts. Guys, one person is worth it. Why? Because that one person could be you, right? So enough with the mushy gushy. Why the heck should people be moving, right? Like, why do we exist? Guys, we exist because it does matter and you can make it fun. Like I was saying earlier, workouts don't have to be boring. If you are local, goodness gracious, find us, come see us. You will not regret it. If you're not, please follow along with us online. We have some other resources coming out to help you, and we can make movement fun. So my question is, we know we need to move. We know we need to exercise. We can do the whole exercise snacking. Oh no, movement snacking throughout the day, right? Movement snacks. Where do I start, right? So let's say I do have some movement. I'm exercising. Like, should I start with yoga, Pilates? Is that really going to help me? Should I start with strength training? Like, what's your advice on that?
Great question, Holly. And I'm borrowing some debate tactics here because I want to get to the things I want to talk about.
Okay, perfect.
I'm going to come back to your question, so don't forget it. But I want to give people the heavy artillery from my book and the research of why you have to make an effort to incorporate some exercise in your life. And these are the unsung heroes of exercise. Most people know, oh, move more, eat less, I'll lose weight, and I'll be fit. Those are the obvious things that you're going to hear a doctor say. And quite frankly, I think it's, borderline ignorant because it's just so superficial. Let's get into the real cool stuff that nobody ever talks about. And one of them is this thing called elastin. And I have a client that I trained today, and he's seeing a cardiologist. Like, he was on death's door because of circulatory issues related to his health or the lack thereof. And he was here, and, you know, with all the hurricane stuff, and he manages all the parks in Pinellas County. And he's dealing with a lot of stuff, but he knew he could not miss tonight because I brainwashed him so much of this one benefit, which is the elasticity of our blood vessels, your arteries and your veins. When, like a rubber band, if you ever seen an old rubber band,
oh yeah,
and you're like, what happens?
It breaks.
Exactly.
Or it doesn't go back. It's like, meh.
Yeah. When you lose the elasticity of your blood vessel walls, you get those little micro tears, and then those little lipids that come in, like, they can get in those little tears, and that's what forms those little plaques. That very simplified explanation of causing heart disease.
Oh my gosh. That was a great explanation.
Yes.
Wow.
It's one I use in the Magic Pill, and I'm going to be explaining more because it is a great analogy. One of the ways you can prevent heart disease is exercise, producing more elastin, more elastic blood vessels, less likely to have plaque formation over time. So the earlier you start, obviously, the more the benefits. But if you've already got heart disease, which is everybody, including myself to some degree, you know, this is just a way we can slow it way down and decrease the likelihood of having a cardiovascular or stroke event. So that's one. Number two, brain function. Whether you're talking about Alzheimer's or dementia, or performance, cognitive performance as a business owner, as a working professional, as an executive, as a mom, as a dad, as a parent, you got to deal with these intelligent kid questions that come out of left field. You want your brain to work. And another unsung benefit of exercise, brain-derived neurotropic factor, BDNF. What is that? That is miracle grow for the brain cells, fertilizer for the brain, neuroplasticity. We used to think until 1998 that we had a finite amount of brain cells, and we drink and we get hit in the head. We kill those brain cells and they never come back. Well, we know, thanks to be a brain-derived neurotropic factor, that that's just fertilizer to regrow brain cells. Simplified explanation. But guess what? Creates more BDNF, more fertilizer. Exercise. Movement-based exercise. So this goes back to the balance of resistance training and movement. This one leans more on the movement side of things. So if you like to walk your dog like Holly does, I don't know if you like to walk Pumpkin, but she does it every day, twice a day. Or like one of my clients that's a busy executive and dealing with a lot because he's managing thousands of properties in Pinellas and Tampa. He loves playing tennis. So 3 times a week, he goes, hits tennis balls against a wall even, or plays in a league or goes practice. He loves that. He enjoys that. So back to your original question, do the thing that doesn't feel like work, if there is such a thing. If there's not, figure out what it is. If you want to go dance, and this is where we get into Pilates and yoga. Pilates and yoga are movement-based activities. They're not going to really move the needle on cardiovascular fitness or strength. So they're what I would consider appetizers or condiments to the main course of resistance training and, you know, higher intensity movement-based activities. But if that's what you need to do something, do it. So, you know, I want you to do something. And I'm an advocate for all my competitors. If you want to go to F45 or Orange Theory and that floats your boat, but you're exercising, I'm going to be your biggest fan, your biggest cheerleader, your biggest supporter. If you want to come here and you love what we do, obviously that is good too. So do something. And so I don't know if that answers the actual question, but
oh my gosh, that was I'm more than happy with that answer, Mr. O'Brien. Good job. If you are someone that only eats tapas then yes, you can do yoga. It's just the appetizer. No, seriously, I loved it about you too that, you're an advocate for movement, being healthy. Where's the best place for you to get that? We're going to support you. And that's why I love having a family owned gym. The Y in Triumph is you. Those that don't know, they're like, why do you spell your name weird? TrYumphFitness is the Y in Triumph is you, and you matter. And that's why we do this. Also, we want you to not just try, we want you to triumph. So many reasons. So again, if you are just tuning in and you're not following us or you're finding us somewhere, we have a YouTube channel called Triumph Nation. No, I thought it was Triumph TV. I'm going to say the wrong name.
It's YouTube is at Triumph TV.
Okay, at Triumph TV.
You screwed me up. It's at Triumph Nation TV. So you're almost right. Triumph Nation TV. Spell with a Y. Triumph with a Y.
Okay, so I'm gonna go find it. You guys can find it. Hey, you know what? At least we're making you laugh. It's never gonna be a dull moment here at the What the Health Show between Mr. O'Brien and I. So I hope you're getting value from this. If you are, put value in the chat. Mr. O'Brien, your hand is raised again, sir.
Yes, I have two more things I wanted to share. The unsung benefits of exercise. I didn't want to bore you with all four. But chapter 4 of my book is called Better Than Prozac. Ooh. So there was a famous, best-selling, New York Times best-selling book called Prozac Nation. Prozac was the antidepressant that was prescribed like candy in the 90s. And we became, mental health was very stigmatized back then, where now it's not. We encourage people who are actually stigmatized not getting help. But the title, I titled that because the mental health benefits of exercise trump Prozac. What does that mean? Not Trump like Donald Trump.
Better.
Trump meaning superior in multiple studies. And why is that? So exercise is the best antidote to stress. Meaning, stress is going to force you to do stupid things, going to sap your willpower. It's going to make you crave comfort foods and soul foods and chocolate and candy and fried foods. That's just what stress does. Exercise is the antidote to that. So if you're trying to maintain weight or lose weight and you're stressed, exercise is going to help counter that. Exercise is also going to promote quality sleep. So poor sleep is also a contributor to mental health issues. So better sleep, which is improved from exercise, can alleviate or improve some of those anxiety issues that can contribute to mental health problems, or I won't say problems, but issues.
I have to say, working out, the hardest part is getting to the gym. Can anyone relate to this? But when you're leaving, you're like, wow, I'm glad I did that. I feel so good. So clearly that's true. I think all of us who have exercised before have experienced that at some point.
Yeah. If you're a client watching or you're one of our coaches watching, we have got to remind ourselves, and if you're a coach, you got to remind our clients why, when they're leaving, it was so beneficial for them. But more importantly, we want to celebrate the fact that you overcame all those inner voices that said, don't go, you can go tomorrow. We're trying to create an environment, and if you're not here, wherever you are, you want to create an experience with yourself or getting a workout partner or an accountability partner that may be across the country, but you hold yourself accountable. But finding something that is so rewarding when you're done, and then you have the conscious awareness to say, wow, in that moment, I'm glad I did this. And that's going to program your subconscious mind for that next time that decision comes up to say, I don't want to do it. Then your subconscious mind yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Remember that feeling? And you'll be more likely to go. Or you might have that accountability say, hell no, get off your butt. Let's go. So mental health is a huge benefit. And then the last thing, which I won't go too crazy on, is stem cells. Stem cells are getting a lot of publicity now. If you want to go out of country and get some really crazy stem cell stuff. You want to talk to me about that offline, I will. But with things that we can't control, like stem cells, our body makes stem cells. They make less, and we have less as we get older. But exercise is an easy way to kind of upregulate those youthful cells to do their job and help rejuvenate us. And it's a great anti-aging strategy. So I'm 56 now. I'm still arguably kicking butt.
People that don't know that are literally falling over going, you're what? You're what? That's right. 56.
Yeah. Young kids have a young, beautiful life you got to keep up with. I have a 32-year-old training partner that I also have to keep up with. So it, keeps me young as a strategy, but everything I do, exercise by far, I would say is 80 to 85% of the reason why at 56 I can do what I do and still be have energy for my wife and my kids and run a business with 10 employees and growing. It is truly, pun intended, the magic pill. And that's why I titled my book that. So those are some of those unsung heroes. And we'll get into, I do want to get into, but I want to answer any questions that you have or you think might be more relevant than what I want to talk about. But when we talk about what types of exercise, or like how to really prescribe, if you only have 3 to 4 hours a week, and your goal is health, fitness, longevity, what should you do with those 3 to 4 hours, regardless of whether you like it or not? I definitely want to get into that because I feel like, that might be valuable to some people. But what else do you think?
Well, that was actually one of my questions. That's what I wrote down. It's like, because that's the thing. It's like, okay, I understand it's good for me. Stem cells, that's amazing. I actually didn't know that. So I've learned that tonight. Anybody else learn that? Put stem cells in the chat if that's something you learned. Super cool. My question is, like, how long should I be working out? What intensity? Where do I even start with something like that? Like, what would you recommend? Your professional recommendation? What would you recommend?
Again, recognize, have awareness of where you're at. If you're ground zero, then walking your dog is a step in the right direction, literally and figuratively. But let's just assume you're more advanced than that. A little plug, like if you're starting from ground zero, if you have the resources, the best investment you can make is hiring a coach, having somebody help you, or if you don't have financial resources to make an investment, it's going to be probably about $1,500 to hire a personal trainer for 4 months. Or you could do like we do, semi-private, might be somewhere in the neighborhood of $150 to $250 a month, more affordable, but you're going to have instruction. And there's a lot of semi-private gyms around the country. I'm part of a mentorship group where we meet and I get to talk to my peers. So that might be a solution. Don't try to do it on your own. If you have no experience, you're just going to be spinning your wheels and what I call walking in the gym. Walking's better than sitting, but you're basically walking around. And
that was me, y'all. When I first started at the gym, I literally was on like the recumbent bike thinking I was doing a good job. Like I hired a trainer. I happened to end up like meeting Mr. O'Brien and getting married to him, but still you can't marry your trainer all the time. But still, when I first started working out, I didn't know what I was doing. I was smart enough to know I should hire a professional, right? Coaches have coaches. If you don't know how to do something, you hire a professional to learn how to do it. And guess what? You'll learn and then you'll be able to do it on your own, right? And I love this semi-private where we have here because I need someone to keep me motivated and tell me what to do. And the community aspect of it is huge. So I appreciate you saying that. So yes.
Yeah. So getting a coach or finding somebody could be at your church or some kind of community, or ask for referrals on Facebook of somebody that's looking for a workout partner that may have more experience. I can speak for somebody that has 40 plus years of experience. I always prefer to have a workout partner. So I recruit them And in addition to the one that's been with me for the last 4 years, his name's David. Shout out to you if you happen to be watching. And then, but he couldn't do Monday mornings anymore. So guess what? I recruited another one for Monday mornings, who was also a business owner that was slacking in the gym. So I reached out to him. Hey, I have a deal you can't refuse. Monday morning, 7 a.m. We're gonna meet and we'll both get workouts. We'll hold each other accountable. So even somebody with lots of experience and knows better, I need an accountability partner. So that's probably the biggest recommendation I give you. I actually have a whole chapter in the Magic Pill, not plugging my book, but there is a chapter how to hire a personal trainer and do it right. That book is available on Amazon.
I was going to say it's a really good book. And I'm not saying that because I'm his wife. I'm telling you, like, I should reread it because it's been a while. But the amount of people that have said to me, and I haven't even told you this, like when I'm at the gym, wow, it's like they've told me it's a really good book. Oh, I learned that in the Matt's book. And like I bought Matt's book for Christmas for a friend. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is really cool. So it actually is an easy read if you're someone who doesn't really like reading. And, you know, it's smart.
Yeah. And it's a book that you don't have to read front to back. You can literally surf it, look at the table of contents, read each chapter works by itself. So if you just want to hire a personal trainer, you can go right to that chapter. If you want to talk about nutrition, there's a weight loss chapter. There's the mental health chapter, and more. There's my menu workout guide, lots of stuff, but we don't want to get off of that. What I do want to teach everybody is the exercise pyramid.
Oh, yeah. That was one of my questions, too. I'm like, what's an exercise pyramid?
So that's my lame attempt at a pyramid, but I'm not an artist.
What's a pyramid scheme? What's happening? What are you teaching us?
This is a pyramid scheme to get you healthy. So basically, the way this works, not like the food pyramid, the base of the pyramid down here, the area under the curve, the bigger that is, the more you should be doing. So, so my twos look like a Z, so I have to rewrite it. But so down here, the base of the pyramid is what we call zone 2 cardio. Okay. So what is zone 2? We use heart rate monitoring system called MyZone, and we do that for one reason is to teach people how to use their heart rate to quantify or qualify the actual intensity of their exercise. So zone 2 is basically for most people between 68 to 73% of your maximum heart rate. One easy way to calculate it is 185 minus your age. 185 minus your age will give you your zone 2 approximate heart rate, at least get you in the ballpark. And then you have to have some way, Apple Watch can work. It's just going to be a little bit of a delay. But you can get MyZones like we have or we sell, and there's Polar and Garmin and all kinds of other brands. But, periodically, if you're out for a walk, what you're going to find the more in shape you get, like I cannot get into zone 2 walking. So I had to start rucking and putting on. Tammy this week, I was telling her this because she was walking and had some hip issues. And I said, that's kind of the long-term consequences if you like to run, unless you're in a very small anti-inflammatory, genetically best part of the population, inevitably you're probably going to have some hip or knee issues if you run and run and run and run. So she already had that. So I was like, a lower impact way to still get those cardiovascular benefits is rucking. And what is rucking? That's just basically putting on a weighted backpack. So she goes, you're going to be so proud of me. I borrowed a neighbor's backpack. She didn't even have one. And I told her to put 10 pounds in it. And she went for a 3-mile ruck. And she said my heart rate was like so much higher. And she was sweating. And it just, anyway.
Maybe I should take the dogs for a walk with a backpack on.
Yeah, you could do that or, do it with weighted boots or something, or just kidding. I don't want you to go buy weighted boots, but so zone 2, is 90 minutes per week, or the older you get, the more you need to do, 30 minutes a day as you get closer to 70. But a good rule of thumb for most people is 90 minutes a week, up to the age of 60. Then the next,
you guys have figured out your zones. Pop it in the chat over here. I want to see what everyone's
that could be 30 minutes
Mhm.
Pop it in chat. 185 minus your age. Just post that number if you want. So you have it. You've
Mine's
calculated it.
145.
Awesome. So that's 90 minutes cumulative for the week. So that could be 3 times 30 minutes, 2 times 45, or one long ruck on Sundays for 90 minutes, or a bike ride.
Okay.
So that's how that works. The next piece of the pyramid is RT, which stands for resistance training. Arguably, if you do it right and circuit like we do, which I'm not suggesting you need to do because we've been perfecting it for a long time. But we do it in a way that you also get cardiovascular benefits that qualify as zone 2 or better. But for most people, resistance training, and this is where you need a coach if you never have done it properly. And most people at the gym that think they know what they're doing don't. If you see somebody working out at the same machine, they do 15 reps and then they sit on their phone for 3 minutes and then do the next set. Those are the people I'm talking about, regardless of what they look like. No, so resistance training is done at an intensity that's going to actually cause micro trauma or micro damage to the muscles. That's the stimulus to create an anabolic signal or muscle building signal to tell your body it needs to build those muscles bigger and stronger. But if you're not exercising at an appropriate intensity, you're not going to get those benefits. So that's where the coaching comes in, or trial and error. But I want to save you lots of trial and error.
Yeah.
Cutting to the
Work
chase.
smarter. Work smarter.
And depending on, the volume, I call it, intensity and volume, VIP and progression, but volume, intensity, progression. You want it. The takeaway is, understanding, trying to do as much muscle as possible. That's what is the difference between a compound exercise where you're doing multiple joints like a squat or like a pull up or a pull down. Think about it. You're doing in a pull down or like where you're pulling down the machine, the biceps are working, the lats are working, your abs are stabilizing, your shoulder girdle's working. Lots of things are working versus a bicep curl, especially just one arm at a time.
Yeah.
These 2 bicep muscles are really the only thing that's actually doing any work.
Right.
Little bang for the buck, lots of bang for your buck. So if you only have 30 minutes, do compound exercises, squats, pull-ups, push-ups, or pull-downs, presses, stuff like that, deadlifts. And these are like you could spend. There's no excuse for instruction. You can get lots of free instruction on YouTube. Just make sure they're decent. But anyway, resistance training, 3 to 4 times a week. If you only have 3 hours a week, I'm going to break that down, but we'll figure out what that looks like. But 2 to 4 times a week, resistance training. Then we get higher up. We'll just call this fun stuff. So I'm going to put fun stuff up above that. So
okay,
do 90 minutes resistance training. You could get it done in 45 minutes per week if you know what you're doing. For most people, it's going to be 2 to 3 30-minute sessions or an hour. More is better, but you don't have to go crazy. And then finding stuff that you actually like to do, fun stuff. That could be dancing, could be tennis. And then at the very peak of the pyramid, the littlest time you need to do is high intensity interval training. And to do that properly, you're working at a high intensity and getting your heart rate, above 85% of your maximum for 20 to 20 seconds up to 2 minutes. And then you have a recovery period. So most people have heard of Tabatas. I'm not a big fan of Tabata. It's 20 seconds of work and 10 seconds of recovery. And nobody really produces power output on a Tabata like they did. Like I like 20 seconds of work, 40 seconds of recovery. So you're going, like if you have an Airdyne bike like we do, or some cardio machine where you're just going BTW, balls to the wall, hard as you can. You're trying to exhaust yourself in 20 seconds, and then you're trying to, holy crap, recover in those 40 seconds, and you're really like, those 40 seconds went so fast. Then you've done it right, and you only need to do like 5 to 10 of those every 10 days, or essentially 5 minutes of high intensity work above 85 to 95% of your maximum heart rate. That's going to send a signal to your mitochondria to maintain their efficiency at high intensity. So that's kind of the exercise pyramid. So what does a perfect week look like, Holly might ask?
What does the perfect week look like, Mr. O'Brien?
So back to my original 3 hours.
I'm just going to stick going to the gym.
You have 3 hours. If you can come to Triumph, you would come to 3 TriFits because you're getting cardiovascular, you're getting HIIT, and you're getting strength training. So if you're a client, understand coming to TriFit, I love our cardio boxing. It ain't going to get the job done like TriFit. So that's why we have them differentiate on the schedule. But if you can only come to 3 classes a week, I would do 2 TriFits and 1 cardio boxing or cardio kickboxing. If you're not close to Triumph, which is a lot of people,
then move. No, I'm kidding. Go.
And you only have 3 hours a week. What I would do is 10 to 15 minutes of warm up on a bike or treadmill or something at zone 2. Then I would do 30 to 40 minutes of circuit-based weight training where I'm not just doing one machine and waiting. I'm doing 2 to 3 things. It might be pull downs, then immediately doing push-ups, and then doing some squats. And I would repeat that 3 times. And then go to the next tricep and do that 3 times, and then do another one 3 times. So that's 9 exercises, 3 sets each, 3 circuits each. And I can get that done in 30 minutes and then do 10 to 15 minutes of stretching or cool down, zone 2-ish, maybe 10 more minutes. Or you can throw in like 5 HIIT intervals and then a recovery, cool down, or stretch. And then do that twice a week. And then Pilates, yoga, cardio kickboxing, tennis, or something that 3rd hour. But I would say if you really want to prioritize health and longevity, then I would do that 3 hours of the week and then, stretch myself to do additional time to do something outside of that might be more fun to you. But that would be the perfect week in, applying what I call the exercise pyramid.
Guys, that seems very simple. Even I can do it, right? So here's the deal. It's just taking the steps in the right direction. So if you're starting at ground zero, we gave you the tools. We gave you the action steps. Can you put in the chat right now? I'm in. Just commit to starting, okay? Because here's the deal. We are here to follow alongside you, whether you are local or you're not local. This is why we do this. This is why we have this community. And you can find us on Facebook to do a private community with us on Triumph Nation Facebook group, and we can help you there. If you're more advanced, take it up a notch, step it up. Your body will thank you. Your family will thank you. Your job will thank you. As we learned on this show, you're going to function better, not just at home, but also at work. And that's really important for a lot of us because we want to keep our jobs, right? You want to make more money, keep our jobs. That's really important. I know for me, it helps my stress level with the amount of kids that I have. I feel like I've got 25. Everyone's over at the house. It's a beautiful experience, but it can be stressful, right? So don't skip out on the necessity of exercise. Here's the deal. It's not overrated. It's actually essential. And if you want to live longer, you want to live better during the time that you're here. We're not all promised time. If you want that, then this is your gift. Do you hear the kids?
I do. I'm like, holy crap.
This is your gift that we're giving you today. So you're able to start now. Yes, Mr. O'Brien, you're raising your hand.
Do you think people want one more bonus takeaway?
Do you want one more bonus? Put in the chat. Do you want one more bonus? I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
People are saying yes. We want one more bonus. It's like the last song from a band. One more song. Okay, one more.
Yeah. I want to give you my secret sauce. To if I only have 1 hour to work with somebody, like I did with a gentleman right before we jumped on, that drove down from Holiday, the one with the long commute. And he's going to be working out on, and I want to really give them one big takeaway to make sure they're getting results in the gym. Like a lot of people are like, they don't know if it's working. The one big takeaway is like, if you can do something like safely for one, and like if you've never done free weights, I wouldn't do free weights. I would do machines because the machine kind of stabilizes the weight for you. But the big takeaway, the secret sauce is if you can do it for more than 15 reps, caveat being I do 1 to 2 warm-up sets of lighter weights, I call it priming the pump, priming the joints, getting the synovial fluid releasing in your joint capsules. So those don't count.
Okay.
You need to do 2 working sets where no matter how hard you're struggling, as if your kids' lives depended on it, not literally, that you can't not do 1 more rep after or before 15. So if you can do more than 15 reps, you're not really at an intensity level that's going to create that muscle damage I talked about earlier. Caveat being you can do cumulative volume through circuit training at higher reps, and the cumulative volume of very uncomfortable exercise that also produces the cardiovascular benefits that we do here at Triumph. Another plug. But that cumulative volume can also cause that damage without doing more than that. But for most people that are working out in a big box gym or in their home gym, that's just a really good rule of thumb. 2 working sets of a multi-joint exercise, a pull one, a push one, like squat one with your legs, or a deadlift one, a push-up one, and maybe some dumbbell press one. Those 4 exercises, 2 working sets where I call it the struggle bus, where you're like
you make grunting noises, like
grunting, like gorilla sounds are coming out of your body. Gas is coming out of orifices you didn't even know you had. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Push. That's what's going to produce those results. Yes, it's uncomfortable momentarily, but it's going to create that stimulus and signaling that those of you that understand our nutrition, protein forward, because that's where the leucine come from. And the leucine is a signaling molecule to stimulate muscle protein synthesis on the nutrition side. Put it all together, get your sleep, control your stress, stay hydrated, and you're going to have phenomenal results. So that's it in a nutshell. That's my takeaway bonus.
My computer's about to die. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm good. Like, what is this woman doing?
That's okay. Well, we can wrap it up. I think we gave people that bonus.
I love it. Guys, I'm always learning something new. Here's the fun part is this is for you, but I'm telling you what, I always get something from this. So thank you for asking us to do these type of things because, hey, I'm getting something from it as well. I know Matt really enjoys teaching people. He loves just sharing information, but you know what he loves even more? He loves to educate, motivate, and encourage. But you know what he loves even more is when you guys take action and you let us know, right? Send us pictures, tag us in posts. Hey, I'm doing my snacking throughout the day, movement snacking, right? I'm rucking. I've added some weight to my walking. Let us know what you've changed by watching this. How has this changed your life? That's what, I got goosebumps. Woo, goosebumps. That's what keeps us going. That's what keeps us loving on you and learning more so we can change the world. So, and we get to do that together. So that's my little end of mushy gushy.
Passion fuel.
Mr. O'Brien got us all mushy gushy before we started. So thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of What the Health Show. We're so excited you guys tuned in. Make sure you like, heart, share, leave a comment.
Subscribe.
Hit the subscribe button. And we'll make sure to connect with you. And let's just go change the world, right? Let's just do that.
Absolutely. And like to remind everybody, the real crisis in America is the health crisis, both with our adults and our children. And we're starting this movement. We started a long time ago, but it's building momentum, and we're going to make America healthy again. And especially our kids, and getting those kids fit for military duty if they so choose. This is important, and we'll do another episode that focuses on that. But let's take it seriously. Thank you. Like Holly said, we love you. And if there's something you want us to talk about or dive deep into, put that in the comments and let us know, and we'll do a show just for you.
Just for you, because you matter. We'll see you guys next week on another episode of What the Health Show. Bye.
Try it fun.